At 78, Roy Wood stands as one of the most inventive and influential figures in rock history. From his groundbreaking work with The Move to Wizard and the early formation of Electric Light Orchestra, Wood has spent decades shaping the sound of British rock. Throughout his career, he's drawn inspiration from a wide range of artists and albums, always seeking creativity, experimentation, and emotional depth. Today, he finally shares the 10 rock albums that inspired him most, records that sparked his imagination, challenged his musical boundaries, and left a lasting imprint on his career. These albums aren't just personal favorites. They're a window into the mind of a true musical innovator. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss more stories from legendary musicians and the albums that shaped their artistic journeys. 10. Led Zeppelin IV. Led Zeppelin for Roy Wood. Led Zeppelin's 1971 album Led Zeppelin IV was a monumental and mythical release that proved the expansive potential of rock music. It arrived at a time when the genre's boundaries were being stretched, and Wood admired how the band embraced big risks, evident in the explosive Black Dog and the eerie The Battle of Evermore. Stairway to Heaven was the centerpiece that truly captivated him. Wood saw the album as a dramatic, cinematic, and endlessly imaginative work, an influential approach he later channeled into his own decades-long career with bands like The Move and Wizard 9. Are you experienced? The Jimi Hendrix Experience? For Roy Wood, Jimi Hendrix's Are You Experienced was an explosion that instantly rewired rock music. Hearing tracks like Purple Haze and Foxy Lady, Wood realized the electric guitar had a new master who didn't just play notes, but sculpted textures and bent sound into unimaginable shapes. As an experimental musician, Wood found the album a revelation. The backwards guitar, the swirling psychedelia, and the raw emotion showed that rock could be both chaotic and beautiful. Hendrix's confidence in breaking the rules pushed Wood to be bolder, trust his instincts, and embrace creativity without limits. The album was a creative awakening that echoed through Wood's entire career. 7. Rubber Soul. The Beatles. For Roy Wood, Rubber Soul marked the moment rock music grew up. When the Beatles released the album in 1965, it represented a shift from catchy pop hits to deeper, more introspective songwriting. Wood always admired artists who weren't afraid to evolve, and Rubber Soul was the clearest example of that fearless transformation. Songs like Norwegian Wood and In My Life fascinated him with their unusual textures, emotional honesty, and adventurous arrangements. He loved how the Beatles blended folk influences with subtle Eastern touches, crafting songs that felt warm and intimate, yet musically daring. The harmonies were tighter, the lyrics were more reflective, and the entire album felt like a leap forward. 6. Pet Sounds. The Beach Boys. For Roy Wood, Pet Sounds was nothing short of a revelation. Released in 1966. The album showcased Brian Wilson's genius for arrangement, harmony, and emotional storytelling. Wood, who had a deep love for orchestral textures and inventive production, was captivated by the way Wilson layered instruments, voices, and unconventional sounds to create something entirely new. Songs like God Only Knows and Wouldn't It Be Nice blended lush harmonies with complex instrumentation, and the album's introspective lyrics elevated pop music into an art form. Wood admired how Wilson treated the studio as an instrument itself, experimenting with sounds, tape loops, and creative arrangements that few had attempted before. 5. Dark Side of the Moon. Pink Floyd. For Roy Wood, Pink Floyd's 1973 album Dark Side of the Moon was a masterclass in mood and musical storytelling. Wood considered it an immersive experience that transformed rock by blending progressive structures with philosophical themes. he was captivated by the band's use of sound effects, tape loops, and synth textures to create an almost cinematic journey. Tracks like Time and Us and Them demonstrated a perfect balance of emotional depth and technical precision. Wood, a fellow sonic experimenter, admired how the album balanced complexity with accessibility, making every sound, from a heartbeat to a guitar solo, contribute to a feeling that transcended ordinary rock music. 4. Electric Warrior. T-Rex for Roy Wood, Electric Warrior was the embodiment of glam rock's boldness and charm. When Mark Bolan released the album in 1971, it introduced a dazzling blend of catchy hooks, electric energy, and flamboyant style that immediately captured Wood's imagination. He admired how Bolan combined rock's raw edge with pop sensibility, creating songs that were both sophisticated and irresistibly fun. Tracks like Bang a Gong, Get It On showcased Bolan's knack for groove and memorable melodies, while the album's overall swagger inspired Wood's own approach to performance and production. The shimmering guitars, playful rhythms, and imaginative lyrics reflected a sense of joy and daring that resonated deeply with him. 3. Out of the Blue, Electric Light Orchestra, ELO. For Roy Wood, Out of the Blue was more than an album. It was a culmination of his vision for blending rock with orchestral grandeur. Released in 1977, it showcased the Electric Light Orchestra's ability to combine strings, synthesizers, and rock instrumentation into something monumental and cinematic. Wood, as a founding member of ELO, saw firsthand how ambition, precision, and creativity could transform music into an immersive experience. Tracks like Mr. Blue Sky and Sweet Talkin' Woman demonstrated the band's ability to fuse catchy hooks with complex arrangements, producing songs that were both fun and sophisticated. The album's double-disc format allowed the band to explore expansive musical landscapes, from upbeat pop rock to lush symphonic textures. 2. Paranoid, Black Sabbath. For Roy Wood, Paranoid was the album that defined heavy metal and showcased the raw power of rock in its most unrelenting form. Released in 1970, Black Sabbath's second album demonstrated how dark, heavy riffs combined with haunting lyrics could create a sound that was both menacing and mesmerizing. Wood admired Tony Iommi's inventive guitar work, Geezer Butler's driving bass, and the chemistry of the band, which made every track feel intense and urgent. Songs like Iron Man and War Pigs were more than just music. They were atmospheric statements that set a new standard for rock aggression and emotional depth. Wood appreciated how Paranoid balanced darkness with accessibility, proving that heaviness could be both artistic and compelling. 1. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. The Beatles. For Roy Wood, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band was the pinnacle of creativity and innovation in rock music. Released in 1967, it wasn't just an album, it was a cultural event that redefined what rock could accomplish. Wood admired the Beatles' fearless experimentation, from the orchestral arrangements in A Day in the Life to the playful vaudeville of Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. He was captivated by the album's concept, its seamless blending of genres, and the meticulous attention to sonic detail. Every track offered something new, pushing the boundaries of what could be done in the studio. For Wood, Sgt. Pepper wasn't just influential, it was transformative, showing that rock music could be artful, ambitious, and deeply personal all at once. These 10 albums revealed the influences, passions, and artistic values that guided Roy Wood through a career full of innovation and experimentation. From Beatles classics to groundbreaking works by Pink Floyd, T-Rex, and ELO, each record left an indelible mark on his creativity. If you enjoyed discovering Roy Wood's favorite rock albums, make sure to subscribe for more in-depth explorations of legendary musicians, their inspirations, and the music that defined entire generations. Every story has a spark, and here you get the inside look at the albums that fueled a musical icon.